Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is a Google Nexus 7 tablet, which is running Google Android 4.1.2. In a previous video, I showed how you can update from 4.1.1 to 4.1.2 without losing your root access. In this case, I went ahead and updated it so that I did lose root access, and what that means is, if I load Rootkeeper, you can see here that the box is not checked for device rooted. If I try to run apps that require root access, such as Titanium Backup, says that they fail. I don't have root access. So I'm going to go ahead and try to reroute this device so that I can run those applications, install custom recovery, and do other things. And I'm going to do that by running an app called the Google Nexus 7 Toolkit, which is available for Windows. This is version 3.1.2. And I'm getting a little bit of an error message because I've actually already installed it previously. You shouldn't see that if you've used it before, or if you haven't used it before. And once it loads, you should see a number of different options here. So we can back up and restore the device, install, uninstall drivers, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and just choose option 4, which is root or unroot your device. And I want to root phone. And let's go ahead and root phone and install BusyBox. Let's see if that works. There's also an option to boot into Clockwork Mod Recovery, flash the stock boot image, unroot, etc. But let's just go ahead and choose option 2. Is your phone in fast boot mode and are you ready to continue? No. So that boots us into fast boot mode. And now you can see that the utility is doing the rest. You can see I'm also plugged in here right now to the computer. This doesn't work if you don't have the USB cable plugged in. That should probably go without saying. And you need to make sure that you have the proper drivers installed on your computer as well. And the utility should let you install those as well. And most of these actions are things that you can do manually by opening a terminal and typing in commands one at a time. This is just sort of a script that runs through these things automatically for you. There is a possibility things could go wrong, so you want to sort of have a general familiarity with ADB and how Android debug bridge and programming works in order to solve any problems. So, there's a chance that you could wind up with an unbootable device if you're doing this. There's always a little bit of risk. But this does make the process much simpler for people who aren't as familiar or just looking for an easy way to do it. So it's pushing the super user app, it's installing BusyBox, pushing BusyBox binary, running more text across the screen that I can't read quickly, testing to make sure it's installed properly. Again, we're still plugged in right now, but there is a message on the screen saying if your device doesn't reboot at this point, unplug it. Well, it says unplug it, pull the battery, and replace the battery to fix that, so it'll reboot. That won't work on certain devices like the Nexus 7, which has a built-in battery and no removable battery cover. But if you're using a Galaxy Nexus phone or something else with a removable battery, that's always a good way to get it to reboot. Okay, so that should be it. So let's see what happens here when we try to go back into Titanium backup, asking for root rights. And now we can allow it to root, or to access root permissions. It's taking its time, but it does not work. That's interesting. Let's try Voodoo Rootkeeper. Rootkeeper says that we do have root access now. Let's try ES File Explorer. Actually, that's not what I want. I want to go to the system directory, try to rename a file. Normally this is something that you shouldn't be able to do unless you have root access. Renamed successfully, so we do have root, but Titanium didn't recognize it for some reason. So I might need to reinstall or reboot or something, but let's go ahead and do one more quick thing and install OpenScript Recovery, which is going to replace the stock recovery with twerp. You can also, of course, use this tool to install Clockwork Mod Recovery, but I prefer twerp. Just going to go ahead and download it. And you can see it's downloading. And again, you can use the Google Nexus 7 Toolkit. It turns out there actually is a twerp option as well, but I prefer doing it with Goo Manager, which downloads it from GUIM and installs it pretty quickly and easily here. And so now once that is done, you can reboot into recovery, because I know you just haven't seen this thing reboot enough times. And this time we reboot into TeamWin Recovery Project, and from here we can wipe our device, back up the entire device, restore from previous backups, or make other changes. So anyways, there is a quick look at how to root Android 4.1.2 using the Google Nexus 7 Toolkit version 3.2. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing.